Hi, I'm Eden Radvani, Director of Analytics here at Coastal and Product Owner for Tableau, CRM Analytics, and Tableau Next. Today, I'm talking through the importance of the semantic layer and helping answer some common questions that we've been receiving around its importance for this product. To level set the semantic layer, you can actually think about as almost this bridge between Data Cloud and Tableau Next. It's essentially, Data Cloud is the backend tool that brings your enterprise data into the CRM. It activates it into the Salesforce CRM. And then the semantic layer will allow you to add contextual knowledge so that once you go to the front end for an end user, interacting with an agent and visualizations, you're able to ask questions in a natural language that allow you to use terms that you're familiar with and speak to data in a way that's more natural to you. So in this semantic model specifically, I'm using a Tableau published data sources as the data behind this. The concepts I'll talk about would be equally important for a data model object in Data Cloud or a data lake object. But one of the first things I want to talk about is the importance of well-defined fields within your semantic model. So along this left-hand side, I have all of the fields that are coming through from this Tableau published data source. I'm actually going to focus on caregiver region and patient region as a good starting example. So as I open up these fields, you'll see that not only do they have well-described names, there's no abbreviations, there's no underscores, it's a clean value coming through for caregiver region. I also have a description applied to each one. So for caregiver region, I'm saying the region that the caregiver operates in, whereas for the patient region, I'm talking about the region that the patient lives in. So again, when I'm in the conversation with the agent, when I'm talking about region, it will be able to use the context of the conversation to understand whether I'm talking about a patient region or a caregiver region, depending on that conversation and how that's flowing. Another important thing here would be around how we actually define and build out our metrics. So for those of you familiar with Tableau Cloud and Pulse metrics, very similar concept, but an important thing here is the time dimension for your metrics. So making sure that you have a date that your metric is realized against, right? So for appointments, I'm looking at the appointment date. That's when the appointment actually occur. And that will allow me to trend that data over time. But I also have a description here as well. So I have the distinct count of appointment IDs. So that's more of the technical explanation. But then to contextualize that, this represents the number of appointments that may have been scheduled and may or may not have occurred. Again, it's adding the extra layer of information so that when I'm having the conversation with the agent, it's able to understand what I'm asking for. So I open up our business preferences here. Tableau offers some guidance here, but this is another way to layer on the extra information that will make this interface more specific for your business. So some examples here would be asking, when you're asking about sales performance, for example, to group by region. What I've actually done in here is actually, because I'm working with demographic data, so I have patient age, patient race, patient education, things like that. I've told the agent that when a user is asking about demographics, I want to focus on patient age and patient race. So I don't have to call out all of those fields. And I can use the terminology that my users are familiar with. Some other things I've done in here, talked about preferred visualizations to use when I'm talking about metrics and trending those over time. And that will become more important as we actually interact with the agent in a second. Now, the last step before we actually interact with the agent is going to be making sure the analytics agent has passed its readiness check. So a lot of the things that we talked about, using accurate field names, so using product name rather than PRD ID, an abbreviation or a system variable. Adding clear descriptions. So those descriptions for each field are going to be very important as we're starting to have those conversations. Testing relationships, making sure that if we have multiple data sources in here, the joins are well orchestrated and we have data flowing through the right way. And then validating those business preferences, again, that extra layer, that extra piece of information that's going to help the agent flow well. One thing I do want to call out for some of the more advanced enterprise clients, we've had questions about if you've already authored semantics within Snowflake or Databricks or other products like that. We believe on the roadmap that there's functionality to bring those into Tableau Next, but where we see value of the semantics within Tableau Next right now for the users today is actually you've activated your enterprise data into Data Cloud already, and you're really enriching the CRM specific data with these descriptions. So there's big value there, but yes, in the roadmap, we see that work not being wasted in those other products. As we navigate over to the dashboard now, you can see that we have a lot of information here, but again, that agentic experience is really what we're focusing on. And so you'll see a few examples of things I talked about here with the descriptions and the business preferences. For example, talking about no-show appointments trending all time, I can see a visualization because of the preference that I provided alongside my data. So even though the dashboard is filtered to the current the last 2 years, I'm looking at all data and I'm seeing a line chart so I can visualize what that data looks like. I'm not just getting the text response because I see that as more valuable for my users. And then a follow-up question, are there demographic trends among those no-show appointments? So again, because I said that when I'm talking about demographics, I want to look at patient age or patient race, I don't have to call out those field names, but the agent's going to recognize that I want to talk about the age of some of my patients. And so that's the data and the visualization I'm getting when I talk about demographic trends. So this is really valuable. It's very important to kind of bridge that gap between the raw data that's coming in and actually getting to a place where the data is contextualized for your users. And we see it as a huge value add within this new product.